show the history and celebrate the tap dancing Christmas trees. Oh my goodness. And it really, to me, it demonstrates like the power of the arts, really bringing people together, cross-cultural, cross-generational. Oh my goodness. Is there a way to take it internationally?
Well, that would be a question for Pam, the designer of any of the trees.
There is. You just have to figure out how to make it happen or invite us.
Get invited to some parades in Europe or...
Yeah, we were invited to the parade in Hawaii one year,
okay.
and we opted not to do it.
Okay. The trees didn't go to Japan. Some people went to Japan recently.
Yeah, we went to Japan, but that wasn't...
Dance 10.
Yeah, that was
Dance
10, not the trees.
Yeah. Now, for me, what was so great about this was when I first moved to Alameda and I saw the mayor's tree lighting ceremony, and then I heard that there were these trees going to be tap dancing down the block. And once you see the trees dance, you can't help but not smile. it just brings joy. And so to try and capture that joy on a film was something that I felt was a goal that now was achieved. And what I also want to thank is, we don't have the director here, but when I started pitching this idea, Sean Daniels and Students on the Set, which is a not-for-profit in Alameda, where they mentor high school students on the craft of filmmaking. And so you really only got to see that in the credits, but I want you to understand that there were a lot of students, high school students, who helped in making the film. And I know Jenny, who is a tree, always, when we mention the students, what do you usually say? They were so cute.
They're so cute.
And did you have any, were there students from you guys?
Oh yeah, we were invited to the Elks Club, and that was all student done. And Sean was there, but it was...
Yeah. It was students who did a lot of the lighting, did a lot, and so to me, there's so many pieces to this that make it, that fills my heart for this film. Also, every story can't be just happy, happy, happy. I mean, seeing the 9/11 part of it, seeing the robbery part. I'm from New York, and so when I was there, when they were interviewing anyone who was interviewed about who went to that 2001 parade, to a person cried. The tears would come out just by the memory of that. And being someone from New York, I felt an affinity for that.
I've done 6 parades, and that's the most memorable.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. To walk down the street and see pictures of people, all over the walls, and things that have you seen this person?
I know.
It was.
I was in New York at that time. Yes, it's just really. Yeah, there's the trees and things by the armory, just walls of, missing people. It was just something. And to see that was something part of your history and what you were able to contribute to that, I think, was something so admirable.
It felt so good because people responded so positive.
Mm-hmm.
We made them smile.
Yeah, that's what you're choking up right now. So. Any other questions about how it got made, or any questions about the tree? Yes.
2023 is the last year.
Yes, that it was at Macy's.
Okay.
And they don't go every year. It's an invitation, and it seems like it's been every 6 years.
Yeah, it's varied. I think one time was like 4 years, and then another time was 7, and it's varied a lot. The first time was 2001, and the last time was 23. In between is 6 times we went.
6 times, yeah. And that was the inspiration because someone here, Jenny, was having dinner at my house, and she said, "We're going to Macy's, and Christina, her daughter, is going to come, and there's a grandmother daughter." She was just going on how great was going to be coming, and I said, "Is there a documentary about this?" And there is now.
And it was shown in Dublin.
Oh yeah, we brought this film to Dublin, and Christina came in from, who you saw in the film, who it was studying directing, and she came to the screening that we did at the Irish Film Institute in Dublin.
Wow. Dublin, Ireland?
Dublin, Ireland. Yeah, not California. Yeah. Good question.
I hope it's not too personal, but was that all the expenses covered by the sponsor, or?
How we did a GoFundMe. And we had some very generous donors, and we had a target of 20,000, and we raised that between GoFundMe and very generous donors. Yes. So, and we're hoping for more. You know, to me, I love the trees, but this is students on the set first production, and I'm looking and hoping that more students, there'll be more productions, and it, you know, not only documentaries, it could be something narrative. I don't know. Yes.
Quick question. At the lower left, there is something that my ancestors
Oh, yeah.
will not tell.
Okay.
For me, what is that?
Okay, this film has been submitted to film festivals, and we have been semi-finalists 5 times. We have more laurels up. We didn't update the laurels on this, but we have been selected as semi-finalists for the San Francisco Art House, New Jersey Film Festival, Santa Barbara Film Festival, Los Angeles Silver Screen, and we are considering, there's one I hope we really get into. We've never been, when you're a semi-finalist doesn't mean you get to go to the film festival, but you get a laurel that you can put on your posters. But there's one that's called, the very first time this in Altadena, California, that suffered a lot with the fires. And they have something very similar to Alameda in Altadena, a Christmas tree lane, and a long history of really decorating all their houses. And I'm in touch with them, and they're having a little film festival where it's a Christmas-themed film festival. We'll know December 1st if this film will be part of that. But that's one that, because Altadena, Alameda, you know, it's so similar.
When does that happen?
Pardon?
When will that happen?
They are having an event on the 15th of December. This is what happens. You don't get to, you find out like a week or 2 before the festival that you've been accepted. But we've gotten semi-finalists, but we've not been accepted at an event yet. But I'm hopeful because I submitted it to this Christmas festival, and in January I also submitted it to a dance festival. That it's all a whole festival about dance.
Huh.
So
Where is that?
again in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
And Pam's back, so there were some questions about, you've heard a lot of her name. She's really the founder and the star and the heart and soul of this whole project. I know, can you breathe, because you had to run it back.
Sorry, I ran to the parking lot
Yeah.
and back.
Here.
Oh, thank you.
Come on up. Thanks, Pam.
All right. Sorry, I ran to the parking lot. He told me we were closing at 5 o'clock and I had to get my car, and I went back there and he goes, oh, okay. So anyway, I'm fine. I'm back. I just ran, just like being in a parade, I just ran down the street and back. My own personal parade. All right. So one of the things that I wanted to share is that, you know, I'm very proud of this film, but also I graduated from UCLA with a master's in dance and a minor in filmmaking. And so I'm really tickled by watching this because I've done a lot of small filmmaking. And when I was going to school at UCLA, we were doing 8mm where you would scratch the emulsion off. I mean, that's how old I am, right? So, but to see my work in this kind of a final production, you know, I understand how much the effort is in all this. And when I first met with Sean and we started with all of this, I knew that I didn't know that this was going to be the success that it is, you know. I didn't know that the tap dancing Christmas trees were going to be the success that they were. I didn't know this was going to be sort of my legacy in life of all the things that I've done to be known as the tree lady. Okay. Anyway, did you have any other questions?
Can this be seen on the internet, like a YouTube or a?
No, it's not on YouTube right now. We're still kind of just putting it out to film festivals. There's something called Venimo where you can pay to see it. We've not really put that up yet. Right now we're just trying to do some screenings locally, and then submitting it to film festivals. But yeah, it is really owned by students on the set, and so the director really kind of would be the one who would be promoting it or putting it there. That's where we're at with it. I've asked even our local KQED if they would, and then what happens is you ask, and then no one answers you. But I'm trying to screen it more. Is what.
Well, I want to just say, like, as far as parades, I mean, we've been doing these parades. This is my 35th year with tap dancing Christmas trees. But, like Kathleen Crandall says in this thing, you should hire yourselves out. So this year, between November the 8th, where we did Castro Valley Parade, and the 27th of December, we are doing 38 performances. So and I work as a booking agent, and so we're doing tree lighting, private party, country club, and so that's what I do. That we rehearse for all that. So there's many levels of what we call the tap dancing Christmas trees. There's 68 of us this year in parades. We had open auditions, and we've grown from those 5 you see in the very beginning to 68 of us. Ryan Justice is my assistant director and manager, but we also have 25 of us that I call our job trees, which means they're literally professional trees. They go out and they work professionally, they do extra rehearsals, and they get paid to be Christmas trees. And then we have other people that stroll and do those things. So there's many facets of all this that over the 35 years this has grown into this.
How did you come up with the idea again? Was it in a dream or a vision?
Thinking all the way back, I think initially I first saw tap dancing Christmas trees or dancing trees at Beach Blanket Babylon.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
a really good friend of mine. My mother was a piano teacher. Both my parents were professional musicians, and one of my mother's protege students, who then later became the musical director for Tommy Tunes, he did all the music for Beach Blanket. And I went with Michael Biaggi one time to see them, and they had dancing tree, but the trees, they're dancing trees. I know Michael Snoon had dancing trees in his ballet as well, but they have no persona. It's a cone with no face, and there's feet that go like this, right? And if you've seen us, you see in the parade sort of a minimal of what we do, but when we do performances, I mean, we are seriously trained dancers. Yeah, I mean, I've been a dancer all my life, so what we do is quite different from those. But I think, in thinking back, I think that was the seed that started, and then we did that whole little thing with our recital for my dance studio as a finale. My husband made that little chainsaw that you saw. I still have that chainsaw, and that was my idea. I like comedy. I like to be comedic. I think comedy is really where it's at in performing arts, and so that's where this whole thing started.
How has the dance routine evolved? Is it the same 35 years ago?
Oh, well, when we first started, I really didn't have the concept of like how, parades are forward motion, right? So I had tried all kinds of things where we would dance and then we would make these pinwheels around each other. Meanwhile, the parade is, 2 miles down there, run,
Yeah.
So it's taken me a long time to finally figure out how to keep choreography moving at a pace, because you have to set a certain pace in a parade. I mean, parades are all timing, especially if you're on TV. You've got to be at the right place at the right time. So it's evolved. I mean, I still do basically a lot of the same choreography, but I've had to switch it to having, to forward movement. So like there's a simple thing that we do in parades where you put your arm up, the people pass, and then they put their arms up, and those people pass. So everything is now moving forward. There's no more stopping and dancing for these people over here.
Wow. Question?
Yes.
What's it like to dance without music?
When the music.
When the music stopped, you mean, at Macy's? Frightening.
They did turn it back on.
They turned it back on. So, I mean, to clarify that story, what happened was we were not in our set place, and they started the music. We were about a half of a block away from our TV spot, where you're set, where you've rehearsed. This is where I'm going to be when the TV's hitting me. They started the music, and we were over here. So we came running out, and we stopped, and there was no music. So I think what happened in retrospect is they started the music, and we weren't ready. They stopped it. And then they started it again, but when they started it again, it only was playing for the sound people and the cameraman, but not for us. We couldn't hear anything. And so the lady in front of me was screaming, dance, 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 but there was no music, right? And so like she said, somebody started counting. I mean, for me, the music is in my head, but it may not be at the same time as in her head, as in her head, as in her head, So to have somebody that was confident enough that we just started singing, but it was one of those great moments. When we finished, my sister called me as I turned the corner and she said, what happened? And I said, I don't want to talk about it. But once again, those things can happen. you know, those kind of glitches can happen even in the Macy's Day Parade. Doesn't matter, to me, it doesn't matter how big things get, there can always be a glitch somewhere. That's always interesting to me, you know, that it can never be perfect. There's no such thing as perfection in the arts.
Right.
Right. There just isn't.
Yeah.
Was that the most challenging parade, or were there others from your memory that were like really chaotic or crazy?
That was probably the most nerve-wracking experience. You know, I mean, when you're in charge of all of this, all these people, there's a lot of responsibility involved in all of this. You know, and so you want the best for all these people because they all have their hopes up and maybe they will never do this again. I'm planning to do this again. I'm hoping we're doing the 100th. Next year's the 100th Macy's Parade. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm hoping we can do it one more time. I would like to do that very much. So, you know, but the responsibility of parades is looming. I mean, there have been incidences of securities in parades around the country. You know, people have gotten a little crazy about parades and, you know, so, yeah. All right, anyway, we don't need to go there.
The one in the rain looked really interesting.
Oh, yeah, the rain was
Yeah, rain is fun. And well, Niles Parade, finally the man that I work with, Ray Pulver for Niles Parade, he's finally stopped having any horses. Because they had like 35 horses there one year. People love to put us at the back of the parade with Santa. The trees belong with Santa, but you've just had 35 horses coming before you. You know? And it doesn't matter how many cleaner-uppers they have, it's never very good. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there a chance to take it internationally? To do performances?
Well, people have asked about the Rose Parade. The Rose Parade doesn't want us. I mean, that's after Christmas. You know, I mean, at Christmas, we're pretty much done. This year, we're going to go till December 27th, and that's kind of stretching it. We usually finish Christmas Eve. We used to do Christmas Eve at Lefty O'Doul's every year for the Toys for Tots. We did that for years, Christmas Eve. So, you know, I don't know. I looked at the parade. Rome has a really nice Christmas parade. I don't know.
Wow.
Want to go to Rome sometime? Do a parade?
Question, I saw a hand.
Yeah, I've got actually there two. From start to finish, from the idea to finished product, how long did it take you, Lori?
This started in, I think we had dinner at the house in August. And I started talking to one person in September, and that didn't work out, and then a mutual friend. So I'm going to say August was the germ of the idea. And then we got, I was able to find Sean Daniels. And then after talking with Sean contacted Pamm to see if we could do it. Because it was nerve-wracking because we were doing it right. This began because they were going to Macy's. And think of how much they had to rehearse for Macy's. And then all of a sudden we're putting these high school kids in the mix and filming it, and I think it added a level of tension, perhaps, but it got done. It got done. And then, so then the parade was over, and then more interviews happened, and we had our first, December of 24 is where we had our first draft of it at Altarina Playhouse. The film changed a bit after that, but we did have our first kind of official showing at Altarina. So a year, yeah, from August of 23 to December of 24.
My second part of the question, Sean, had he directed documentaries before? Was he the teacher?
He is a professional filmmaker, videographer. He has a business called Castaway Productions, which is another You Like Humor. It's called that because they all used to work for Comcast, and then Comcast let them go, so they call themselves Castaway. And so, the year before I kind of approached him, he started a nonprofit called Students on the Set. And he would do little things where he would educate them, and they would do small projects. But this is the very first documentary that Students on the Set did.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Is there a chance to see the trees live this season? Are there any
Oh.
more dances?
Yes. Let me get out my schedule.
I'm gonna be on TV.
Let's see. Well, let's see. Wednesday night we're doing the tree lighting for Napa. Then we're doing the Niles Parade on the Friday after Thanksgiving, and we're doing the Friday after Thanksgiving. We're also at South Shore tree lighting. Then we're going to be at the Claremont Hotel on the 5th. We're going to be doing the Civic Center tree lighting on December the 3rd with the mayor and the big tree downtown. And then we're also doing, what else? Oh, there's a lot. There's a whole lot.
What's the best way for someone to keep up with your schedule?
To look at our website. We have the tapdancingchristmastrees.com. Okay, that should always soon be updated. We kind of had some problems with it. So, but I wanted to add a little bit about, you were talking about, meeting with Sean and talking about, getting ready for the parade. This whole experience with Brian and I and with all the people that do these parade things. When we were doing the Today Show, I met with the woman that was running Spirit of America. Now, I followed Spirit of America for years. They used to be the Mark Miller dance group, and they're the ones that have the 1,500 cheerleaders. So every dance studio in America gets a little postcard in the mail and says, you too can be in the Macy's Parade. They send you a jacket, and you get your little costume or your dress, and you get a rehearsal video, and you learn your piece, and you're there with the other 1,499,000 people. Okay, and you're in the Macy's Parade. It's really cool. So, but they were on the Today Show with us, and I started talking to the woman that was running them, and she said, well, how did you get here? Well, first of all, I got invited to the parade. Second of all, we book all the airlines ourselves. We booked the hotel ourselves. I had 150 people for Thanksgiving dinner at Carmine's, and booked the bus to get to the parade, booked the bus to get back from the parade. And so everything that we do there, Brian and I have done all that ourselves. So this is a... Huh?
And produce all the swag.
And produce all the swag, and she makes all the costumes. So it's kind of a grassroots thing. And I was talking to this woman, backstage at the Today Show, and she was kind of like, oh, okay. But that's what I do. That's what we do, and that's how this whole thing has kind of evolved. But also, that's been my interest in maintaining what I call the brand of this. I have a trademark for the Tap Dancing Christmas Trees. I hold a fictitious business name for Tap Dancing Christmas Trees, and so that's there's a brand about all this, and an image that I like to protect, because a lot of times in parades, and this has happened every single time, the clowns want to be with us. Okay, every Macy's parade, all the clowns want to be with us. Okay, Castro Valley Parade, the clowns, and they want to be in our act. They come up and they want to dance with us. And I appreciate it. I mean, we are funny, we're zany, but we're not clowns. And we are really dancing, and we're really trying to put out this kind of rocket, kick line formation thing.
Wow. Any other questions? Yes?
Are you going to be on TV in San Francisco soon?
Well, yeah, Cron for
Tron 4?
the 7th,
Sunday, December 7th at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
In the morning.
Yeah.
In the morning.
Set your alarms.
Set your
Yeah, it's a Sunday, it's a weekend.
It's a
so,
Sunday, before church.
yeah. Before church. Yeah.
Great.
Wow.
Nice.
I think we covered it. Anything else you want to add?
Yep.
Is it time for the museum?
Yes, it's time for the museum.
Okay, if you ever want to go to the museum, you can follow me.
All right, Claire, lead the way. Thanks, everybody, for coming today. Thanks for the joy you gave us today with this film.
And just
Very
the
funny.
museum